Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe down below in your right hand corner. Muchly appreciate it. Thank you to my subscribers and my followers. Muchly appreciate your support. And again, just share it with your friends and family. And if you come across the channel, please don't leave without subscribing and hitting the likes. It helps the channel grow. And we've worked hard at building an integral channel here where we don't give you a bunch of hype just to draw you in, which is nonsense running off of rumor land. We don't do that here. That we've take great pride in waiting until factual information presents itself and falls. So, yes, this is a little later because summer schedule. It's very down here on this channel because we were a little bit of vacation time, and you're kind of all over the map. A lot of things going on. And we're in the off season. Anyhow, we know that beginning of the week, Jaden Struble got signed as he went his contract went through arbitration, and he's got 1.41 for 2 years, one way contract, which we kind of so it kind of spells. Uh, the scenario on defense for the Habs. I think you're pretty much, other than David Savard and of course, the great trade we made, that replacement of having a top tier defenseman. Other than that, that's the huge change on our defense core. Um, so I think though with the lower end of the scale, the Habs are pretty much going with what they had, other than if someone presents themselves. And if I was, I still think on the bubble is Jack Eye and Struble. However, that's just because I like what Jack Eye brings to the game. Yes, he's got work to do on positioning, but I think we need more of the size and grit that Jack Eye brings, because we've only really got him and Gooley who are into the hard hitting. It's Dribble. He once in a while he does. He's just not consistent with it, and that's the downer on him. And he's doesn't have the size and the nastiness of Jack Eye, and that's why I say I think those two will probably get rotated in and out of the lineup, alternating. Um, However, I would say this, and I would say keep in this feather in your cap, as far or however you want to look at it. Be careful, because I tell you, I think we all could. We better watch training camp when it comes, because I honestly think seeing what we've seen out of Adam Enstrom in Laval in the playoffs, and this quite by far the best player down in Laval, and I think you're going to only see more of it. He could be a surpriser, and there's going to be some heavy competition for that the last pairing and the seventh spot in Montreal. I really firmly believe that. Same thing with Reinbacher. Don't be surprised; those two are going to push for a spot, and who knows, right? It'd be great to see Reinbacher be ready, because I still think that right side could use the after, especially after not having Mayu. But again, we have a much better upgrade there with that trade. But I still think I liked Mayu as well, and that's hard, but it is what it is. Yeah, you sometimes you got to pay a price in order to make things happen. So I'm on the fence. I liked Mayu, and I'm hearing great things about Bolduc. So it was kind of a need for both teams, but I'm on the fence. Like I like what it does for our forwards, but just thought that Mayu brought something a lot of our defense didn't have with that big shot. But it is what it is. So they went a direction, and that's that. I still think it was a good trade both ways for St. Louis and Habs. Same thing with um, the Islanders trade. I think that was a good trade to capitalize on that. Um, but let's and Yeah, so let's we're going to be going into in the coming back with another tape as we've gone. I've given you the structure of what I see the Habs lines as, and that's why I say I think Bolduc is definitely second line. Uh, I think people are making a mistake and underrating this kid. You have to understand. Yes, when the Habs become a great team, he probably then again the book's not finished on him because he has a much higher ceiling. So we don't know where he's going to sit. He's definitely, for now, where the Habs aren't a great team yet. Out of all of our third liners, he is the best player out of that pack. There's that's hands down. I've seen this kid's highlights, and there's nobody. There's no question that it's going to be Demidov, probably Doc, and Bolduc. And Bolduc will probably share duties at center. I'm thinking as far as faceoffs. I mean, on the left side. You'll probably see something like that be shared with him and Doc. And of course, Newhook could fall into that rotation too, as we explained. Um, but I think a lot of podcasts I've seen are under estimating what this kid's how good this kid is. Sorry, I loved Emil Heineman. I was the guy who projected that he'd be the young prospect to make the NHL first, and he was. Yes, he kind of fooled us a little bit for a year there, but he did last year prove himself, and what I had seen in him came to fruition. And so, yes, for me, it's a hard loss to lose him, but kid yourself not. There's no way you can put him and Bolduc. It's like they're just a different level of player. Bolduc has much more to his game. As much as I'd still love to have Emil Heineman back for that checking line, no doubt about it. But Bolduc is there's no way you can't change the facts. He's an upgrade. So we'd be lying if we said otherwise. Other than that, I'm going to come out with a tape because I've noticed my buddy, and so I'm so pleased for Junkie when he hit his milestone. And congrats, buddy! I've been the first guy following him since he started, and yeah. So with that being said, congrats, bud, and I seen him do a tape, and I was just about to head there and do that myself. It's a little quieter in the summer, but I'm going to give you as gave you the prospects he thinks that are going to be the prospects to watch. Well, and he's right. He says it in his tape that there's gonna be some very different opinions on who's what, and I'm gonna give you a different view, and I'm gonna also slap in some realities of I don't think our offense. Um, is going to see that many players that are in this. I'm talking about Laval players. After that, it gets better, because we've got some bigger guys coming into the system. But Laval, I'm going to shock you with there's not many there that I think will crack, and there's a lot of, sadly to say, talented smaller players. And I'm going to shock you with the name too that I know Habs fans are looking at, and there was such hype put on him. I just don't think he's going to wind up being a Hab unless something drastically changes because he's had his opportunities in Montreal and it didn't project. His play didn't project to the NHL of what he was doing in the AHL. And I'm sorry, that has to be taken into account. And for me, when I seen his opportunities in Montreal and I compare him to Jake Evans, you're not taking Jake Evans' spot. So, with that being said, so I think you might have an idea who I'm talking about. I'm going to give you my top prospects, and the guys I think you should watch. And Junkie had a great list. We got just a couple differences of. I just think there's a few guys he didn't really look at, but we all have different opinions, and we're all entitled, and that's great. And maybe I think he may have overlooked it. No biggie, no biggie. His list was very good. I'm just going to and my list is going to be a different spin because I don't go with just the hype. of the critics of what they're put on these players. I go with what I'm seeing and what the guy's showing us. So stay tuned in for that. That'll be coming. And I just want to do a quick advertisement. Don't forget, if you're doing summer projects, landscaping, renovations, that's usually done in the summertime. Uh, Contact Aurora Contracting. Great owner, honest man, and honest workers, hard workers, and good quality for reasonable rates. So remember, Aura Contracting, and give them the user code Andrew. Tell them I sent you. Anyway, so thank you for watching. You've seen it here at Center Heights Productions. Yeah, just with Struble, I just wanted to go on his story. And Montreal also, we know, added some toughness, having to replace three defensemen in Laval with Charlie, what's his name? Oh Lord, I had it in my head. Martin, and that's a good replacement player. He's hard hitting. I like that. Brought some nastiness. They're still going to need more additions to that defensive core after losing like Mayu and stuff like that, and other players such as. So with that being said, with Struble, I'm just going to make it very clear. I think he's the odd man out. That's my yes. He signed. He signed, and it's his job to lose. What I mean by that is I rate Struble in the seventh spot. I have Jack Guy in the third pairing. So both of them, the Jack Guy and Struble, it's their job to lose, right? Until the other players are ready and up to the snuff. Like we know Reinbecker will probably be a full-time NHLer, and like I told you, watch out for Adam Enstrom. I think he's going to push Struble and Jack Guy. And that's going to be an interesting battle. So training camp projects to be very exciting this year. And I do think we're going to have a few forwards that people aren't talking about that are going to surprise and could be pushing either their way into Laval or could even push for a spot. I think there's going to be, because from my projection, I only see Kapanen being the only guy ready to crack the Habs lineup. But with that being said, there's a few dark horses, and we'll talk about them in that episode of the top prospects. But for me, Jaden Struble is a piece, and I will say this: yes, he signed, and that's great and dandy, and I love Struble. I don't like his consistency. For a guy who's supposed to be physical, he's not near physical enough for me consistently, and and his size is just average. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's big, but most defensemen are much bigger, like Jack Eye's size. So in that regard, and I know Enstrom probably falls into that too, but Enstrom's got a lot of talent that he brings, a lot of hockey smarts. IQ wise, I think he's way ahead of Struble in that area. That's why I think he would be almost, when things settle, one of the guys that should stick around. So for me, I think like I said, I love Struble, and maybe he sticks around this year. And then, with an arbitration, he was probably going to be here. It went just the way I thought. Uh, so no surprises, but to me, he's somebody that's, don't be surprised if he's in a trade package as time goes on. Because like I said, I think there's two guys knocking on the door in the defensive core. All right. Thank you for watching. You've seen it here at Center Heights Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe. Tell your friends and family about it. Share it. And it helps the channel grow. And we have built a great family here, and just keep it respectful. And we're all entitled to different opinions. And be aware of the um, next video I make on the future prospects that I think that are going to crack the team and make the Habs. God bless. Bye.